8 years ago, I started singing what people may call Christian R&B with the help of my friend and fellow artist, Red Print. You may know him as El Hodge Lavelle. Under the grace of God, I was able to release multiple songs and travel with my music. Then I took a break. Well, to be honest, life just took a different direction. Y'all know how that is. I'm back with a new platform, but with the same message. Under construction with LaRhonda Marie. Y'all ready? I don't know. We'll see. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Under Construction with LaRhonda Marie. I'm LaRhonda Marie. And today's topic, soul ties. Let me tell y'all, I've been on soul ties for the last couple of weeks, and it has been life-changing for me. So I just want to bring that to you guys today. First, what is a soul tie? A soul tie is an emotional bond formed by an attachment. Now, the first time I heard about a soul tie, I walked away thinking that the only way a soul tie could be formed is through intimate relationship with a partner. But that's not the case at all. Actually, there are both good and bad soul ties. There are godly and ungodly soul ties. My hope is by the end of this show that you'll be able to identify the difference between the two. The thing is that a soul tie can affect your everyday life. It can affect your relationships, it can affect your finances, and definitely it can affect your health. You're already familiar with my first guest. She is the head writer and producer on this show, Nicole Jocleen.
Thank you for having me on the show in front of the camera.
I know. How does it feel to be on this side of the camera?
You know, I'm a little nervous.
Hey, you don't look it. You look beautiful.
Thank you.
You look beautiful. As you can see, I have a second chair here, so I have another guest to introduce. His album just dropped on June 13th, Best Wishes, and is doing great on iTunes right now. Everybody help me welcome L.T.Z.
Black and Paula fuck backwards in front of you. You like the loud music, I know everything
Now,
about you.
you guys know him as L.T.Z, but I know him as Tony. Tony's okay if I call you by the family name?
You just said Tony. Is it okay if I call you by the family
But
name?
since I'm the oldest, I'm going to act like I got a little, I got a little respect for you. And I'm just playing. But if it's okay, I'm going to call you Tony because
Yes,
LTZ
ma'am.
just does something to my tongue that I just don't like right now. All right. So we're talking about soul ties today, guys. What do y'all think? What are y'all thinking? What are your thoughts?
You know, I want to say a disclaimer.
Oh, okay.
You know, I am a soul tie enthusiast, not an expert. So, you know, whatever I say is because of the things that I've studied and I've ventured out to figure out. But, you know, I'm not like an expert on soul ties.
Well, I'm a soul tie survivor. That's what I'm going to say.
I'm a little bit of both of that. I'm just a little bit of both of that. Both of those things.
We'll take that. Well, it's crazy and it's a big coincidence, but all three of us were involved in a movie that Nicole wrote and produced, correct?
Correct.
A short film called I'll let you talk about it.
It's called When Paris Met Chris, and I actually got the idea from a coworker of mine. Her name is Sheila, so shout out to her. And, you know, at work, you know, you just dialogue about all types of things, and she was kind of putting the idea of soul ties as being a part of you everywhere you go. So, like, if me and L.T.Z had a soul tie, it's like he's with me as I go into my new relationship. So that kind of birthed the idea of the script, and it basically just gives you a way of seeing it in the natural form, because it's such a spiritual type of thing.
Got you. I think we got a clip of that.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and play a clip.
Okay.
Hey, I'm Chris.
Hey,
What's yours?
Paris.
That's nice. I like that.
Told me at the office that you didn't want no relationship, so make sure you keep that same energy.
But let me guess. How'd you get that name?
Hey, Kat, she told me that too, fam.
Hey man, chill out, bro. She told me about you at work.
Whoa.
She told me you stalking her.
Whoa.
I might have had to beat your.
Calm down.
I love Tony in that. I'm telling you, he is hilarious on that part. You did a good job. Was that your first movie?
First movie? I mean, I guess it was my first movie.
That was mine. I mean, it was. I ain't even trying to hear about my clip, y'all. Like, I literally, like, okay, go ahead. I'll say what you about to say. It sound like you got something in your head. You look like you was about to say something.
I was just thinking about your part. Because what part did you played the...
I played the cougar, like a
Yeah.
cougar. I don't even... Look, okay, I'm going to be honest with y'all. Like, Nicole put a post up saying, hey, I need some extras. This is how Nicole will do you. I need some extras. We're all black. So I'm like, oh, me and the twins, we're already going to be downtown. I'll just put on black and help my girl out, right? I get there, eager, and she said, oh, LaRhonda, I need you to play this part. I'm like, what? I'm just trying to help. I'm going to play this part. So, yeah, I got the part of the cougar. I don't know why she thought that I would do a great job of that. That's not me at all. But she put me there, and so, you know, I did what I did. You know what I'm saying? That's how Nicole do you.
It's funny because LaRhonda, she initially wasn't going to play that part, but anytime, like, people, like, can't make it, like, at the last minute, whoever is around.
That's how she did me. That's how she
Whoever
did me,
is around, I'm
too.
like, can you do this? Like, it ain't nothing. Just, all you got to say is this. But I'm always grateful when people come through. And I actually want y'all to see LaRhonda in her part.
No, y'all don't have to really do that.
Yeah, we can see that. Ow. Cougar-ness.
So if she was so bad, why were y'all together?
We weren't together, but she did some things that I liked.
Oh, really? Like what?
So did she give it to you like I gave it to you, baby? Did she make you beg and say her name like me?
I don't know.
Okay, that was not my element. And again, I only had like 20 minutes to get the scripting together, okay? But anyway, soul ties is our subject. So Tony, let me get you involved in this. Is soul ties something that you were familiar with before the film?
Absolutely not. Not even close. Like, when I got told about it, I was like, oh, I'm gonna be playing myself in this. Bet. And then they're like, it's about soul ties. And I was like, oh, okay. I didn't even Google it, to be honest. I was like, all right, sounds cool. They're like, you're gonna be there, but you're not gonna be there. And I'm like any girl, you know what I'm saying? I bought you them shoes. I was there, so whatever. So I wasn't an expert. I mean, it made me look it up after. Because it was trending on Twitter, and I was like, oh, okay, my bad. Is this what we doing out here? Okay. So, I mean, I looked it up after, but I was an expert.
I agree. Like, after everything I didn't know what was going on with all them different people that was, but now that I've been studying over the last, I said, oh, okay, now when I look at the film, I know exactly, y'all did a good job.
I'm so sorry y'all was so confused in the
We
midst
was
of it.
confused.
No, I wasn't confused in the midst of it. No, I wasn't confused.
I was.
I got it, but I didn't know that was like a thing.
Oh, before
So
then.
the idea, of course, makes sense. You'd be like, why you cut your hair like that? Well, Shawty like that. So he's like, you're not with Shawty anymore. So that's why.
Yes.
Right, you know, and that's the thing, we don't identify. We didn't know what to call it. You know, so if we don't know what to call anything, then how can we actually manage it or do what's necessary to get what we're supposed to get out of it? Nicole. I'm gonna wait till a little bit later for that. Tell me, what does soul ties look like to you in a relationship?
For me, it looks like carrying something with you that, and you're bringing it. I mean, it's baggage. Let me not even try to sound like an expert. It's baggage. You got hurt. You like, oh, where you at? Well, why are you questioning me where I'm at? Oh, because you have to question the last guy where he was at. Or who's that girl? You have to question the last guy, or whatever. I mean, that's just relationship wise. Maybe friendship wise, when people are like, oh, you know what? That's why I can't loan people no money. I owe you $3. $3. And all of a sudden, I didn't broke you and you didn't miss your rent. That makes no sense.
So that's a good point, though. So Nicole, what do you think a soul tie looks like in a relationship?
I would say like when you've connected with someone, whether it be, you know, a relationship or, you know, a friendship, and you're not the same after that. To where like you were, for example, if I'm in a relationship with this person, and I was never like a jealous type of person in a relationship, but they are, and they checking my phones, they checking this, where you at, you know, kind of like he was saying, and we break up, and then I go to the next relationship, and I'm doing it to that person.
Right.
I taking on your behavior.
That's right. And that's what it is. That's a lot of times that is what it is. Well, actually, I mean, I've done a lot of research on it. So it's to me, it seems like the spirit within me is connecting with the spirit that's either in you or really already in you. And it could be a good or a bad spirit that's there, or good or bad, positive energy or non-positive energy. At any rate, it's your spirit connecting with another person's spirit.
Right.
And a lot of times, it may be like-minded spirits. A lot of times, that's exactly how it is. And so we need to be able to identify if the spirits that we have together are good or bad ones. Because the thing about it is, it's going to affect, like I said before, your relationship. It could affect your health. It can affect your finances. It's going to affect everything about your life.
Right.
And so being able to identify that is crucial for us to be able to be delivered from those negative or those ungodly soul ties. So this is a good conversation, definitely. I'm looking at, in the Word of God, it tells us that we're a slave to whatever controls us. And so what that means is that that spirit, if you allow it to control you, it's going to keep you in bondage from that. So you want to be able to break a soul tie if it's negative.
Right.
How do you think you would go about breaking a soul tie?
I would say just like breaking an addiction, the first thing would be separation. I can't get over you if I'm constantly in your face.
That's right.
So, like you'll see people break up with people or ghost people, and they'll unfollow them on social media, unfollow their family members, anything that reminds them of that person. And that person may be like, why are they doing all this extra stuff? Because I know that in order to get over you, I can't see nothing you post, your sister posts, your, whoever's related to you, I want to see
That's right.
nothing. And that person knows this is what I have to do to get over this person or whatever. Just like, if you recovering alcoholic, you can't recover if you're around alcohol. And you can't recover if you're around people drinking alcohol in front of you.
Right.
So if I have a soul tie with L.T.Z and y'all together all the time, I can't be around you.
Right.
Because I'm trying to break this soul tie over here. So now, not only have I cut him off, now I got almost cut you off because y'all together too much.
That's right.
So, whatever people got to do to get their peace back.
That's right. I agree, absolutely. So what do you think? What are your thoughts?
Oh, it's plenty of people that's been the casualty of war. That's just what's going to have to happen.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, why did we stop hanging out? Look, you was friends with Shawty. Me and Shawty don't hang out no more. We're done here. I'm sorry. I wish you a happy birthday from a distance. It'll be on Facebook from my burner account.
Actually, what I have learned is that my willpower is not bigger or better than a spirit, whether it be good or bad. So even if you think you can still be around that person, your willpower is never bigger than that spirit, okay? That spirit is going to rule every time, whether it's good or bad. And so you have to be able to identify the good ones up against the bad ones. And most people thought like me that you had to have sexual contact with a person. And that's not the case at all. That the definition says an emotional bond. I can give an example. Growing up, I saw things in my family. So there were things that my parents went through that I said, made a vow in the back of my head that I'm not going to take that from my husband. I'm not going to go through the same things my mom went through with her husband. And so when it came to LaRhonda, when she was in her own marriage, I had such a soul tie to that vow. It was a vow. I had an emotional bond with a vow that said, I'm not going to take the same things. So I decided to basically give up my family because of the fact I had such a vow to that one thing. I'm not going to be the same as mom was when it came to dealing with her husband and dealing with different things. I want it to be totally different for that. And it can be something just as easy as a vow that you make long time ago that you have in your system, and so that's how you're gonna dictate things. That's what your reality is gonna be. So you have to make sure that when you are doing things that it's definitely a positive thing, not something that's gonna hold you bound to something, right?
Yeah, and to piggyback on that, like the movie What's Love Got to Do with It? Most people have seen that. Like in the beginning, Ike, he's telling Tina, like, everybody that I ever helped has always left me. And she says, I would never leave you like those people.
Right.
At that moment, she's connecting with his soul.
That's a soul tie.
And she's speaking out of her mouth.
Yeah.
I will never leave you like those people. So not only are words powerful, but in that moment, because, her mom, I think in the movie, left her at an early, all of that connected them. So when you're like, well, why is she going back? Why is she? Because at that moment, all she can remember is that moment where she connected. And, it wasn't love. It was just that connection.
It's that tie.
Yeah, that tie.
And so it's important. I cannot say it more than one. More. I have to keep saying it over and over. You have to identify what's a good soul tie and what's a bad one. I want to give you some examples of some good ones. Your teacher, your mentors, hopefully your pastor. There are positive people, positive role models in your life that are definitely good soul ties, right? Can you name a few?
Oh, I could name several. I mean, you want me to name them specifically?
If you want to, go ahead.
It's. Nicole was a positive one. That was my first acting role, though.
That's what's up.
I'm always playing myself, though. It's never challenged me. Give me the Denzel role.
Serious thing.
What about you? What do you think?
I know, like, I have soul ties with co-workers, family members,
right.
People I went to school with. Because there's people that you can just let go that you knew for a while. It's like you work with people that, it's like you ain't never worked with them. Like, y'all was best friends at the job, but then as soon as one of y'all start working there, they are so far in the distant memory.
Right.
And then there's other people that you continue to keep up with them and keep that connection going. And, it's just that tie. And, those are just the positive ones that really good things can come out of.
So, Nicole, I feel like you kind of started on it, but how does one get rid of a soul tie?
Well, with any...
Pause right quick. Hold up, because my mouth is getting a little dirty. But I've been having this sitting here, and I wanted to make him feel at home and get him some green Gatorade. I know that's your thing.
And it's the lime cucumber melon.
Okay.
You sip this for yourself.
Oh my God, I got the wrong one. It's supposed to be apple. I just told my daughter to go get a greenish. I think she must have just grabbed green, and that was it. But anyway, go ahead and drink that. You're going to make me feel bad. Act like you got home training. I'm thirsty, guys, so I'm going to grab me something to drink.
You know how y'all got your own drinks that everybody drink, and everybody like, oh man, I like me a Crown and Coke. Somebody like, I like me an old fashioned or something. And then imagine the Crown and Coke man get brought an old fashioned. This is deeper than that. Imagine the Crown and Coke man get brought milk. It's disrespecting the brand.
I think it's the thought that counts, and it's green, Tony. Drink it.
Money.
I'll name my next album It's the Thought That Counts.
Okay.
For the record, this is literally the green Gatorade that I tell people not to drink. Chips, this is for you because this is the one that you like. You know what? No, I want you to sip this first. I love the
cucumber. It's refreshing.
It's refreshing?
Yes. As soon as you drink it, it's so refreshing.
We're not going to have a spinoff about me right now, but do realize that I'm doing this. Lord, let me use me.
Drink it.
Oh, Jesus in heaven.
No, for real. For real. We're going to get back in serious. Nicole, back to it. How do you get rid of a soul tie?
For one thing, you can't be in denial about soul ties.
Right.
Because, and I'm not saying this to be judgmental, but people with the most soul ties don't believe in soul ties. Because everybody thinks, people think that they can just have sex with people and they swear to themselves that they never think about the people again. But even if you may not be thinking about that person again, that person is still deposited something in you that you don't know where that came from. You don't know why you acting like that. You don't know why your emotions are wrapped up like that.
I like that.
I disagree with that though. I feel like you can have sex with a person and not have a soul tie. Because again, it's an emotional connection. We grown here, so let's be honest.
But see, this is the thing. Say you have a one night stand with a person,
Right.
and you don't really know nothing about that person.
None.
You can't identify that you can't say I have a soul tie with that person because you don't know nothing about that person, but your spirit knows something about that person.
Right.
So it's like you can tell. I'm sure L.T.Z, you can tell a woman that has had multiple sexual partners versus one that hasn't.
I mean, it's like night and day.
It's-
So the whole reason why I disagree with the one night stand and being done, because for you to have done that one night stand, the first time that you do it, what did you do that you were never a one night stand person before this? Now you're a one night stand person. So even though you don't know who Joe is, Joe has a soul tie with you because he made you comfortable, or Joe Leisha, or Joe them, or Joe they. They have made you comfortable to do that. So now you're like, oh, one night stands is not anything. Nah, they used to be something. You used to be like, no, never. And the other thing is, the biggest thing, you could tell. I've definitely had a bad experience. That's what we'll call that. Gotta protect the brand. Now, I've definitely had a bad experience to where I was like, yo, I was never this type of person, and now I'm okay with this. So even though I'm not like, oh, she was checking my phone or I became a jealous person, she did make me okay with doing something that was before wasn't a thing for me.
I see both of your points. My point is that maybe it's not necessarily a sexual, a soul tie with that person, but the actual act of sex may be your soul tie. Like what that feeling you get from it, the arousal that you get from them, whatever perversion that comes from that. That's why our spirits are connecting, because we both have that perversion in us. But what I'm saying is I don't necessarily think that if I have a one night stand with that person, that it's necessarily that person's soul tie that I'm dealing with. It's my own, and our spirits are connected in that way. But as soon as I leave that person, I'm still dealing with my own soul tie, because for some reason I just have to feel like I have to have sex or if you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Think about it also like this. Sex was created as a consummation of marriage. So the idea of sex was that once you had sex with this person, you were going to only want to be with them forever. So that was like the whole idea of sex. So we have made it to where that's not what it is. So if something was created so strong that would tie you to that person for the rest of your life, how can we now make it to where it's not that strong and we can just walk away from it unscathed?
Not saying you're unscathed. I'm just saying that particular person. I'm speaking in my own experience. I've had a one night stand in my life. I've had a couple of one night stands in my life, and I've literally walked away from it and not gave a darn about the person actually.
Oh no, man, I don't.
Because you didn't. It wasn't enough with the person for you to recognize that you had a soul tie with that person. But something about who that person is was left with you. It's about identifying what that was. But something about that person was left with you. But if you don't know that person that well, then you can't identify what that is.
When you're talking about, you were talking about it was a perversion that was in you. So if those things are in you, it had to be something about this person that brought it out of you. Because before, if that perversion or whatever that was in you, somebody else could have brought it out of you. It was that person, it was that specific time. And to piggyback off of what Nicole's saying, I'm thinking about it as sex is powerful enough to create a life. So there's no way you have something that can create a life, that can take away. You can't repurpose a gun no matter what you can do, because it was made to kill, it's made to injure. Can't repurpose sex if it was made for life. So if you're not finna create a life, you finna create a lifetime until you break it. I know. Come on, somebody.
That's a good one. That's
That's
good. I know.
Come on, somebody.
That preacher kid is coming out of him.
Send the collection plate right on the left hand side one more time. That dog will hunt.
We should
That'll
have the
preach
cash. His cash app will be rolling at the. Thank you. No, I mean that's what this dialogue is about, because everybody has their perception of a soul tie. I definitely see, looking at it from the point of views that you guys are speaking about, I definitely can understand that one night stand I had probably is still on me. But how do we get rid of it? Besides separation, there's also some other steps that need to be taken besides just separation. Let me tell you why.
Okay.
I have an example. My own life. I had a boyfriend that I was with at 16 years old, and we totally lost contact for about 20 years. We ran into each other at church. And who would have thought something that happened 20 years prior that we would still have that connection? Yes, we had been intimate when we were young, but I still he hadn't contacted me, I hadn't contacted him, nothing. But for some reason, when we saw each other at church, we were automatically drawn to each other, and we actually started dating like a couple of days after that. It's like you picked up right where you left off. So it's not, and I said that to say that it just can't be separation in order to stop a soul tie. You literally have to speak, you have to identify it, and you have to ask God to come in and break that soul tie. That's the main point, because just total separation is not going to do it. You have to actually say, Lord, I repent of my sin. This is what's happened. I identify it, and Lord, I need you to break it right now. That's so important. It just can't be separation. Do you agree?
I agree, and you have to be intentional, like,
Good.
because we think we're like super heroes that we can just, you have to, when you see that person, you have to be like, oh, I'm not gonna do this.
Right.
Like, you have to talk yourself out of it, because sometimes people will be like, oh, I'm not doing anything, but he can come over, we're not gonna do anything. Like, you're thinking you're a superhero. You think you have powers that you don't really have.
Again.
So you, like, when that person call you, if you're not trying to go there, just be like, I'm not trying to do this. If you gotta block the number, you may seem mean, whatever you gotta do. You have to be intentional. You have to be smarter than the situation.
I mean, I already know what happens. You're not finna get over me with just trying to not contact me no more. I'm already in your life every time.
I'm in here.
It's a wrap. I'm living rent free. Like, I already know what's good. I already know. I see your new boyfriend. He don't wear shoes like that. He used to get his haircut like that. I seen him.
Roll them in you.
Yeah, it's done. We could go over lyrics. You could go over lyrics. Like, it's in there. I seen it. He didn't dress like that. He didn't.
And you don't even know why he dressing like that.
He don't even know.
Why? That's how the soul tie works.
You even know. He dressing up like me.
Oh my God.
And she don't even realize I'm trying to turn him into him.
She know. She know.
And then mad because she can't mold him into it. Like, why he ain't? But then when you really wasn't feeling that either.
You gonna have to get some closure.
I was, on your album. What song is that?
If it's the one you're texting me about,
the
it's
one
Paid in Full.
Paid in Full. Okay, y'all have to go get Best Wishes. Paid in Full. Like, when I was listening to it, I was like, I felt guilty. I was like,
because that's the other side of the story that y'all don't tell.
Right. Because me and Nicole are talking a lot about soul ties, like it's a man, like, but boy, that Jezebel spirit is a whole nother booger, baby. And so we have a lot to do with it. He's talking about the new homeboy is dressing like him, got shoes like him, and haircuts like you. Is that right?
It's even deeper than I'm like, you got him talking like me? that. He didn't talk like that. He doesn't talk like that.
And that's how he done adapted the behavior and the persona.
And he don't
That's
even
not
know why.
him. Right, he don't even know
Oh my
why.
God, I've done that. Like, I'm like, oh, that looks cute. Like, everybody looks cute in gray pants, sweatpants. I'm gonna grab him some. He didn't wear them before. I was just, okay.
Y'all just terrible. It's fine. It's fine that it always gets pinned on us like we praying on y'all.
It is. You're right. You're absolutely right. Like I said, I've been on these soul ties for about 3 weeks, y'all, and like I identify myself in a lot of it, and so, you know.
And just I don't want to go off the deep end, but I'm a person that watch a lot of Lifetime.
Oh, go ahead.
A lot of Fatal Attraction, a lot of stuff like that. And like even when you look at molestation, you wonder why your uncle or your mother or father molested you, and now you molesting your siblings. Where did that perversion come from? Because you wouldn't even thought about that had this person not did this to you.
Right.
So now that's in your makeup to try to do, and then you hate it. You hate it when that person is doing it to you, but still you find yourself doing it to the next person. Because somehow that person has deposited that perversion in you. So you say, how do you get rid of that? First you gotta identify that's what that, you gotta be honest with yourself.
That's right.
That's in me.
It's in me. And you can't feel shameful about it, because when you bring up molestation, that's a big one, because people automatically make you the villain in a scenario. But what people don't understand is that if somebody's molesting somebody definitely did it to them, because it's just not, that's a learned behavior.
Right.
It's not something that you just, come out the womb wanting to do. And so we have to be sensitive to the fact that even a molester deserves grace,
Forgive yourself.
forgiveness.
Forgive the person that did it to you.
That's right.
So that
That's
you don't
right.
continue that.
That's right. And you're talking to somebody that survived something like that. And there are terrible things that come with it, but there are also some good that you can grab from it. It makes you a different person all the way around. And so, yeah.
And to go back off the deep end, because I live in the deep end mentally. So, like Lifetime, every third movie is a grown woman that's trying to get away from her husband, and I found some teenage boy that's willing to risk it all to murder the husband for the insurance money or whatever. And then that person's parents be looking at that person like, how did my child become a murderer? Your child connected with somebody that had that type of murdering spirit inside of them. And that connection was so strong that it convinced your child to kill a whole nother human being that had nothing to do with them.
That reminds me of that one, the one in Ohio, the black man, I can't think of his name right now.
It's like,
But him and his son went on a killing spree quite a few years ago.
and it's like, how somebody could convince you to do certain stuff?
Right.
You've connected with them.
That spirit, yeah, and yeah, you've connected. You've gotten some type of bond, emotional bond, and those spirits have connected, and there you go. You're killing folks. Shoot,
Trying to
I mean,
figure out how you got there.
right. This has been a good conversation. You got anything else that you want to add, Tony?
Get a Love and Best Wishes shirt.
Yes.
Love and
Yes.
Best Wishes on all streaming platforms. I have to give you your roses while I'm here, so you can have them forever. You started doing music before I started doing music, so you doing music and doing this is a manifestation of why I would continue to keep going, because it's not like I wasn't watching you at all. And so please continue doing things like this. Most people really take a straight and narrow path and being a content creator, which you are. So please don't ever call yourself an artist, and don't ever say any of those things. You create content, because artist is too limited for you. So please continue to do stuff like this, because if we don't have people to, if there's not you and Rosie, then there's no L.T.Z, because who in the family would have showed me that, oh, you can do something. And
Oh, wow.
That's for real.
You know what? It's real because you never know who's looking. You never know who's looking at you. You don't know who you're inspiring. And so you inspire me like
That's
a lot.
positive soul time.
It's a positive soul
Soul
tie.
tie, yeah.
I can remember we went to his album release. That's when I met that one dude that I just loved. No soul tie though. Beat him.
Beat
Yes.
Man.
What happened to him?
What do you mean? He still makes
I
music.
don't even. He's still making music.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to YouTube him.
And he
I was
cooks,
looking
too.
at pictures the other day and I was like, what happened to that dude? You know, when you off the scene, you be thinking everybody else on the scene. And when you back on the scene, you like, oh, where you been?
He still does music. I link you to some stuff. I mean, that's who I started with. I was in a group with him when I started making music when, I don't know, since I was 11 years old.
Oh, was that right?
Yes.
Well,
Midtown Soul Cafe. That's what it was. In
what you mean? No,
That's
we went to some.
that was the name of it, but it was
She talking about before that. She talking about when y'all came to Slow Narrations.
That's it, right there. That's the name of it. When she look, you don't remember
It
when
wasn't
you had
that-
that fishtail. I was just looking at the picture.
that wasn't in Midtown.
No.
So Midtown is around that same time. Because that's when
we've
that's
been
when
doing this a
David.
while, Nicole, I guess.
I heard these hip hop streets for a while. Still paying to get in everywhere.
What you got coming up?
I just did a quarantine performance, so there's more quarantine performances. I'm going to show you guys how I did it. I'm gonna play you the audio
That's what's
because I
up.
just got texted how to do it. So now you can do all of that. Now you can do all of that stuff. I want to say I want to jinx it, but my podcast is coming back. Produce section.
Cool.
Please come on in when I get it back, and there's gonna be something else. Oh yeah, my shirts, of course. Oh
see
yeah,
that.
hold on. Let me introduce it. I see you. Break the fourth wall here.
I know, right?
I actually brought you a shirt as well.
That's
Man.
look at this, y'all. Like, I'm gonna have so many T-shirts by the end of this season.
Now, LaRhonda's family, but how much you selling the shirts for?
The T-shirts are $20.
Okay.
We have some more. It comes in black. She wanted a white one.
Well, actually, I'm gonna give one out. I can't do, I did it with Trina, so I'm gonna give one out on a live show also. So whichever one, the black or the white one.
Yeah, just let them order it. Just let them. I mean, we already made it. She gonna give out one so you can pick out whatever color. It doesn't have to be the white or black. It doesn't have to be the white or black one. She'll let me know, and bam, you guys can have it.
Nicole, what do you have coming up?
If you go to YouTube under Devoted Media Group, you'll see some of our films. We've been putting stuff in film festivals, just trying to get things seen outside of the city limits. We're waiting to hear back from a lot of them, so just creating content.
I seen you was just a feature in something. You don't want to bring that up?
Okay, we did Quarantine Dreams. Are you talking about that or?
Yes. No, I'm not talking about Quarantine Dreams.
You're talking about the write-up. Okay.
The write-up, yes.
It's called Real Women, REEL.
For real, like
And
the film reel.
Yeah, like the film reel. And a girl named Kate, who does film in Oklahoma City, she actually told them about me because they were looking to amplify Black voices in film. So she told them about me, and they reached out to me, and they just highlighting Black women doing film.
My girl just be doing her thing.
And it's the network. Like I said, Kate told them people understand the importance of networking.
Absolutely. This show is definitely a networking show where you can come together and do some things. So, guys, we're not going to end the discussion here. It actually is going to be some live discussions later on this week, and I'll get on social media to let you know those dates and times. It'll probably be Wednesday or Thursday of this week. So, if you have any questions or any questions about soul ties, anything biblical, let us know and put it in the comments. And when we do our live show, we'll definitely try to answer all those questions. Okay? All right. Well, thank you guys so much again for coming and visiting.
Yes.
Nicole gets to be on this side of the camera. Now, Tony has promised me that he's going to come back and do a live performance. So I literally just started a stage yesterday. When I get ideas, or when L.H., my director, when we get ideas, we literally go to work to start trying to get things done. And so we weren't able to get the mixer that we needed, just a couple of things that we needed in order for him to do a live show today. But Tony has promised me, and I want him to say it on film, that he's going to come back.
I'm going to do it, and I'm going to set the bar so everybody else that does it either has to ask me how I did it, or they don't want to do it, not because they don't want to be on the show, it's because I set the bar so high.
Like, literally last night we had this stage looking like a club. So I even said, okay, maybe he can just lip sync it, and because but it's okay. And when Tony said that's okay, I'll just come back, that's fine, because I actually want him to do more than just one song. Like, I want him to do a few songs. I am a fan of my cousin's music, I really am, and so I don't know why he's still in Oklahoma. So if anybody is looking at this, go grab Best Wishes, and I'm telling you, you're gonna listen to it all day long. We literally was listening to it all day yesterday. I think we were here trying to set up for about 5 hours, and we kept listening to. Okay, but everybody loved it, and so please go get it. It's on iTunes. What else? Every platform.
If you only got YouTube, if you only got Deezer, if you only got Spotify, it's on there. If you only got Google Play, it's on there.
Look,
it'll be by Rock and Chisel next week. Get it done.
All right. Well, thank you guys again, and please continue to tune into Under Construction with LaRhonda Marie. Y'all have a good day.
Black and Paula park backwards in front of your apartment. A music loud and you can tell that I'm really stalling. Your neighbors say I'm bringing down the property value. You like the loud music, I know everything about you. My car smell like my cologne and some black ice. I got my windows rolled down even if it's not nice. I met your homegirl once, it gave a whack vibe. I made it rain once, and now she baptized. Who would've thought a girl like that would need some act right? Who would've thought a girl like that, that's how she act right? But baby girl, what it do, baby? New shoes, but what's new, baby? Or why your friends acting so shady? Acting like they really don't hate me. Button up shirts from Old Navy. With the joggers make it go crazy. Shit was all good just a week ago. 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 Shit was all